Good morning and welcome to 5 Minutes or More with Pastor, edition number 95. It is Thursday, August the 20th, another clear blue day here in Oregon. So excited about that. Good morning, Anita. Um, Good to see you this morning and hope you're doing well. Let's see here what is going on. Um, Kind of actually getting back into a normal routine for us. My dad is out of town, um, and Cassie's watching a child today. Our two older boys, for whatever reason, I forgot to mention it last night on Family Night. Our two older boys are at Grandma and Grandpa's house. So, kind of a last second thing, but they were at Grandma and Grandpa's house. And coming back today, they're going to start school shortly. So, that should be fun. But so we're just kind of ramping up for those things and want to share just a quick thought with you from Psalm 95 and verse 6. It's a well-known verse of Psalm 95 and verse 6. It says, "O come, let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before the Lord our Maker." Uh, the Psalm of David here really quickly just challenges us to surrender ourselves to God through worship. Um, and it's really in worship with our hearts open and our minds and our hearts given to him that God is able to do, spiritual surgery, really, where he convicts us and he challenges us and he gives us his desires for us that he wants to bring about in us. Um, it talks about true surrendered worship here. It says, kneel before the Lord our Maker. That's an act of surrender to God. When we worship God, it should be an act of surrender. Lord, you do in me what you want to do. But it's also important for us to understand that worship doesn't end when the church service ends, when the music is done, or even when the preaching is done. Um, some of the greatest acts of worship take place after we leave those services and we act on the things that we've heard and the things that we've learned while we were kneeling at his feet and while we were listening to him and communing with him. Um, there's a great story told about a community of ducks who go waddling off to duck church one Sunday morning to hear their duck pastor preach. Uh, the duck pastor spoke to the duck church on that Sunday, and he was eloquently telling them how God had given all ducks wings. So that they can fly, and he even pounded the pulpit with his beak. And he said, "With these wings, there is nowhere we ducks cannot go. There is no God given task we ducks cannot accomplish. We can soar high in the sky." And as you can imagine, amens were quacked throughout the entire congregation. The duck pastor shouted over and over again, "With our wings, we can fly through life. We can fly." And again, the congregation quacked their amens. I mean, every single duck that was there loved the service. They absolutely loved it. In fact, as the pastor was greeting all the ducks as they were leaving, they all commented on how wonderful the sermon was and how they were convicted to fly, and just the message that they heard from their duck pastor. And as they were walking out, they said, "Yeah, you're right, Pastor, we can fly." And then, as the duck community was leaving the church, they waddled all the way back home. And as I read that, I was convicted myself about all the times that I've heard preaching or read the Bible or worshiped the Lord and said, that's right, that's true, that's good, I need to do that, and then went back my way without ever changing anything. Many of us fail to act on what we have heard from the Lord during worship. True worship does not stop when the quote unquote worship stops. It must lead to heart change and a fresh, surrendered service to God. And so when we read Psalm 95 and verse 6 and we want to apply it to ourselves, "Oh, come, let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before the Lord, our Maker." I pray for each and every single one of us that part of that worship is surrender. Lord, here I am. You do what you want to with me. And Lord, I'll surrender to it. I'll do. I'll do. I won't just listen. I won't just be still. I'll do. I'll listen when you want me to listen. I'll be still when I want me to be still. But Lord, I also surrender myself and my actions to you when you work in me in worship in that way. And I know the Lord be pleased with all of us as we surrender in that way to Him in worship. I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.